Hiya guys, and this week I have been given a Venerable Dreadnought. Venerable Dreadnoughts are venerable because they're quite old and they've been about for a while. If you were a dog, you wouldn't pee up against the leg of a Venerable Dreadnought because the bugger would stand on you and squish you, even if you were a Space Wolf hound. We'll get on to see what's in the box. Luckily, it's plastic, or it sounds plastic anyway. And in the box we have our Dreadnought base. Here we go, this is what a Dreadnought base looks like for all you guys that don't know. And here's what it looks like from the other angle, from the other side. In the book, in here we have a little book on the various ways of how to build your Dreadnought. The various bits of kit you can give your Dreadnought. I suppose I could just sit here and read this book and you guys could watch me. I wonder how many of you should watch to the end of the video, me sitting mumbling at this book. So I bet I will never find out the answer to. This is your book. Basically tells you how to build your Dreadnought. There is quite a few bits to this boil, so it does no harm to look in here because it saves you the bother of pulling the thing apart after the fact, which I have seen done even here by some of our guys who are quite good at building stuff. So if we get on to what our Dreadnought actually has. Here we have parts, I believe it's of, oh, get it on the camera, Darrell, would be handy. Parts of one of our arms, I believe that is. Could even be a leg, but no, it's part of an arm with some of the inner bits for some of the arms for the weapons. We have our exhausts. Venerable Dreadnoughts, some of the guys in Venerable Dreadnoughts, they don't go for the chrome exhaust, they just like the regular exhaust, but you could paint them silver if you want it. We have our feet. Turn it over to see what a Dreadnought foot looks like. Here's our two Dreadnought feet. There's the backside of our exhaust. Here we have some of our weapon options. The Venerable Dreadnought does come with the Milta, but you can have assault cannon, las cannon, or heavy flamer, heavy bolter. I don't see the point of the heavy bolter. Heavy flamer, unless you're playing something Tyrannity, you know, I don't see a point of the heavy flamer either. I'd probably have to go with the assault cannon or the las cannon, some of the big weapons. Here's the flamer you can have. Here's one of your arms. Here's one of the sockets, I believe. That is an arm socket, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Shoulder pads, leg armor, some of the little decoration you can put on your Dreadnought here, and that's most of it on that sprue. Overall the sprue looks nice. It looks as if, I like when you get a sprue, guys, that you have spare bits, because you can always find uses for these spare bits that some of the other sprues don't give you. The Marine Bike I did the other week give you nothing. Here we have legs, and as I've said before, don't pee on them. Smoke launcher, part of the front of the Dreadnought, where you'll see the driver's head. You do get some head in this box, but they're all ultramarine looking head. You know, you could give it Space Wolf head or Blood Angel head, depending on what you're into. Here we have our plasma cannon. I'm a big fan of Dreadnoughts with plasma cannons. There's just something about it, being able to move and fire that plasma cannon. Here you have your built-in storm bolter. Front of your Dreadnought, I believe we get two fronts, and there's a different front over here. But I prefer this one. You do get, if you don't want to fill in all this little letter work, this is something I complain about Games Workshop with. Sometimes it's detail for detail's sake. Some guys that are really good painting will do a great job at that. Some guys that are terrible painting, detail for detail's sake makes it harsh on them. We have part of the Dreadnought close combat weapon here. We have, I believe that's part of the bottom of the Dreadnought. It could even be the Dreadnought's ass, boys. And Dreadnought's got a mighty ass. Two arms, outer arms, again, lots of detail on them, various words written onto them. And we have the other front panels of our Venerable Dreadnought here. Basically, guys, a Dreadnought is venerable. If I roll a dice, Justin often uses a Venerable Dreadnought here. If I roll a dice, and I penetrate your dreadnought, and say I roll a 2 and I get a stunned, the person can make me re-roll that die. So if the person rolls a 6 and it explodes, you can get it to re-roll. What generally happens, I roll a 4 and get it immobilized, and Justin makes me re-roll and I destroy the bugger. You can ask him, it happens more times than enough. But yeah, nice looking kit, guys. I can get on and chop this into pieces and see how well I can build one of these dreadnoughts. Even see if I can find a couple of wolfy bits to put on it, but don't know if the guys will let me. So thanks for watching this first half of the video, guys, and I'll get on and I'll get this thing started to be built. Hiya guys, this is my Venerable Dreadnought. Should I name the Venerable Dreadnought? Yeah, I think I'll call him Gerald. This is Gerald, the Venerable Dreadnought that I built. Guys, you get to be Venerable Dreadnought by being a very old Dreadnought, as I'm sure I said in the first half. A Venerable Dreadnought's basic stats, guys. I should tell you them first before we get into it. Weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, strength 10 because he has a Dreadnought close combat weapon. Front and side armor 12, rear armor 10, initiative 4, attacks 2. But this is basically a Venerable Dreadnought. The unfortunate thing with this, guys, is a Venerable Dreadnought comes with close combat weapon, a storm bolter, but here, as you'll see, I put on the flamer, but we'll get back to that, and a multi-melta. But the box, and I have the empty sprues lying about here somewhere, comes with 3 shooting weapons. Plasma cannon, my favourite. Twin link las, good old weapon. An assault cannon. You can also get missile launchers for them, and you can get auto cannons, but it comes with a plasma cannon and you don't get one on the sprue. So here I just stuck, it comes with a multi-melta, sorry, and you don't get one on the sprue. So here I stuck my favourite old plasma cannon on it. The Dreadnought to build itself was actually quite straightforward. You know, I just started at the feet, made sure I had the gap correct for the feet and worked my way up. He's got not a bad set of pins on him, Gerald here, you know, but yeah, up. Once you get the body together, basically everything else was sticking little bits on the side of him. I stuck the plasma cannon on. You can see the writing here on the side of the plasma cannon. You do get little filler things to cover over this writing if you can't be bothered. What happens to a Venerable Dreadnought is it gets to be so old and he's like in hibernation half the time. The young Marines come around and carve things onto him. I believe this is Paul loves Becky and we hate Paul on the side of it, if you get a translation in it. But yeah guys, if you believe me on that, you'll believe anything. But yeah, easy thing to build. At the front here you have more writing, more graffiti that the young Marines have done, and some banner looking things here which you can cover over. That is not hard to do. You do get different fronts for it, and I did put this head on him, although I was going to, at the time I wasn't able to get to my Space Wolf stuff, but I was going to stick a Space Wolf head on because I believe this is a better Dreadnought to use as Bjorn the Fell-Handed, because the one they're advertising as a new model at the minute is older than I am, as Bjorn is, I suppose, the oldest guy alive, and it's metal, and I don't do metal. But yeah, you do get different pieces. You get bits of heraldry and whatnot that I've stuck on him, and I've stuck a little extra bit on the side here. And he's got a smoke launcher, and he's got his lights. And on the side here, I've used the hand, and I've put the flamer on him. I haven't glued the hand on because I think it's handy to take it off if he would happen to lose it. But you can just take the full arm off. But I think it looks a bit as if he's, you know, a bit daft with the one arm. He's starting to look a bit like Paul McCartney's ex. But yeah, not a bad model to build. Once you get it all onto it, great. Downside, as I've complained, no multi-melta, but I don't think we're huge fans of having multi-meltas on these. For me, I've built mine more as being an anti-troop. Plasma cannon really is an anti-troop thing. Flamer is anti-troop. The combat hand just squishes everybody to death. Strength 10, pretty much instant death to everybody. To upgrade it, which you basically have to do to a plasma cannon, costs you 10 points. You can also put on an assault cannon here. I'll show you my little assault cannon on it. Oh, fit assault cannon here, or an auto cannon as well, but you don't get an auto cannon. On the right arm you can have an auto cannon and a missile launcher. I believe they're all 10 points each, but you don't get either of them. So you, I don't know, maybe you have to buy all the dreadnoughts to build the one you like. I'm not exactly certain on that, but here on the side I've stuck this little extra bit on that covers over. I believe there's some writing below that if I remember correctly. And for me, for close combat against vehicles, if you're going to be getting up and personal with the vehicles, an assault cannon is maybe even better than a multi-multi if you're going against the softer vehicles, because you're getting strength 6 and you're getting 4 shots, is it, off an assault? Yeah, 4 shots off an assault cannon at it. So I don't know, against the softer vehicles, it's got rending. I would say at close range, it's better having this than having a las cannon. And I know, I'll stick a las cannon on just so you can see what it looks like with the las cannon, guys. I know some of you will say, yeah, las cannon gives you great range, but it's got 1 shot. It may hit on a 2, but it's got 1 shot. The las cannon is probably my favourite looking because I stuck this little semi-gothic looking windows over the graffiti that's in behind it. I believe on this one it says, I love the New York Jets, and below some of the Space Marines have graffitied onto it, but we all know that the Green Bay Packers are the best. But anyway, the las cannon is a lovely las cannon, nice model, but I'm not a huge fan of it. In general, guys, I'm going to stick my assault cannon back on because anything that assaults you by its name, for me, is just the best. I believe I've missed sticking a little bit on here, but I may have used it in one of the other ones. But guys, all in all, to build, very easy. Dreadnoughts themselves, this Dreadnought's coming in at 165 points. So he's not cheap by any means. And then if you add that las cannon onto him, 195 points. You do get the flamer for free. You could swap your multi-multi for a heavy bolter, which a twin-linked heavy bolter, but you don't get one of them either. And you can have your rockets and whatnot, but you don't get them. So all in all, a nice piece of kit. Personally, I'm sticking the assault cannon on it if I'm going after soft vehicles, and I'm sticking the plasma cannon on it if I'm going after troops. I know some of the other dreadnoughts are slightly better, especially the Furioso against troops, but that being Venerable and the person having to re-roll their hits whenever they actually get a penetrate, you can make them re-roll what they've got. So if they've made you explode, all of a sudden you go, no, I'm not exploding. You're re-rolling that. But yeah, guys, it is a nice kit. I may complain you don't get bits for it, but it goes together easily. It's a good looking kit, and for your own army, if you have your own sort of heads you want to put on it, I like the fact that you get to see the head in this, although theoretically you shouldn't really, because you're meant to be inside like a can of beans. But Gerald here, we'll see if we can get him used in some of our videos after I get him painted up, and I'll get on to another video, guys. Stick some comments below.